Before, when you spoke about Africa, you would speak about South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Egypt. Now Zambia is slowly becoming recognized, and for such movies like this.
One thing I wasn't too settled about on the film was, but then it's kind of felt like a detachment from everything. They had just one job. They had one job, that is to make me watch the film and make me want to go to Zambia, regardless of whatever the storyline of the film was.
People living with albinism actually endorsed the film.
So for all of you who have been looking for the music for this beautiful film, we're soon going to be able to access it.
I think it's the first movie in the whole world that the sitting president was actually the guest of honor. It's made us proud. It's putting our name out on the map.
Hello everybody, welcome to another video. As usual, I'm your girl Alice Johnson. You can call me AJ for short, and this is a review of Can You See Us. Over the last couple of weeks, Can You See Us has been trending on Netflix, on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, you name it. Wherever anyone mentions Can You See Us, everyone has something to say. But today I'm going to be giving my own honest review of the film. Before we proceed with the video, I'd like to say a big welcome to every new subscriber, every new family member. Thank you for joining the family. Believe me, you will not regret it. We have amazing content coming your way. And I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who is a returning subscriber or a returning viewer. Thank you so much for always coming through and commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing as per usual. I am really grateful. Now let's get into it. I'm excited because this particular review is not just going to be my review, it's going to be a review from all across Africa. And I say this because I also have in this particular video an interview with Michael Mulusa, who is a young filmmaker in Zambia. He's going to be talking to us about the reception of the film so far, what are Zambians saying about the film, just, give us a feel of what is going on in Zambia at this particular moment, so you don't want to miss out on anything. So stick and stay, and let's get straight into it. So Can You See Us is a Zambian film that was shot in the year 2021, was written and executive produced by Lawrence R.J. Thompson, a seasoned professional in the film and TV industry in Zambia. The film is directed by Zambian filmmaker Kenny Rockmumba and produced by Yasmin Doria Mumba, who happens to be the wife of the director Kenny Rockmumba. The director of photography for the film was Rick Joachim, who is a London-based cinematographer. The film runs for 109 minutes, which is 1 hour and 49 minutes, and is rated 16 and can be found on the streaming platform Netflix. The genre of the film is drama, and it has been described as an African movie that is dark, bittersweet, and emotional. Rejected by his father at birth, a boy with albinism navigates a childhood of bullying, tragedy, and cautious hope in this coming-of-age drama. Now that's the description, or that's the synopsis of the film. The film chronicles the life of a young boy living with albinism who grows into a young man, and we are basically following his life story. Now, the film is actually based on a true life story of John Chiti, who is a musician from Zambia. He's not just a musician, he's also the founder and technical advisor for the Albinism Foundation of Zambia, amongst many other roles that he plays. And he is actually the one who inspired the story. So there's a particular video where he chronicles how he met Mr. R.J. Thompson, who's the executive producer of the film, and how they had worked together previously. And then later on, Mr. R.J. Thompson approached him and said, well, your story is very interesting, because one day they had a conversation about his life, and he said we should make a film out of it. And Mr. John Chiti didn't really think much about it. He was just like, okay, right, okay, that's fine. And he went away. So I think some months later, Mr. R.J. Thompson reached out to him and said, you know what, it's time to make that film. Let's do this. And they merged, they came together, and then they made this beautiful film that we are watching and really appreciating. So kudos to everyone who is behind the film. A total of 150 cast and crew members on this project from all across Africa, from Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, and Zambia. So that is a major leap for Zambia, especially because it is the first ever feature film to make it on Netflix. If you'd like more of a technical backstory from the director's own mouth, I have interviewed Kenny Rogmumba, and his interview is going to be linked in the description box. So don't miss out on it. Once you're done with this video, go down to the description box, click that video and watch. The younger version of the lead role, that is Joseph, young Joseph, was played by a girl who's called Thabo Kamba, who did an extraordinary job at, embodying all the emotions and making sure that we all felt Joseph's pain. Now, I'm sure if you talk to the next person who has watched this film, everybody talks about how emotional the film was. Every single character did their job to bring out the emotions. The pauses were on point, the facial expressions. Kudos to the actors for that one. So I have a full list of the cast members of the film in the description box, so do go ahead and check it out. In terms of the plot structure, it was a pretty linear film, and I'm doing my best to make sure that there are no spoilers in this video, so you can definitely watch it before you watch the film, especially if you don't like spoilers. The film chronicles Joseph's life from birth up until he's a young boy, up until he becomes an adolescent and a young man. So it's a pretty linear structure. From the beginning, he's a baby, and then at the end of the film, he is a young man. In terms of the technicalities, when we look at the cinematography, beautiful shots. It was just breathtaking. It made me appreciate the beautiful landscape of Zambia. It made me actually want to go to Zambia. And that is the beauty of film, being able to sell your country. Like, they had just one job. They had one job, that is to make me watch the film and make me want to go to Zambia, regardless of whatever the storyline of the film was. Now, the storyline of the film was a rather sensitive topic. Nonetheless, when I watched the film, it made me want to go to Zambia. It made me want to go and see for myself the beautiful scenery, the breathtaking landscapes, and they did it. I definitely want to go to Zambia. Rick Joachim did an amazing job. The music in the film was so good. Is this film a musical? Now let's think about it, because there are musical elements in the film. There are moments when some people are supposed to be speaking to each other, but they are singing. I personally have a problem with some musicals where it's like they're trying to evade the syncing. Like, they don't show too much of the character's mouth because the lips are not going well with the music. But this particular one, they actually made me believe that the characters were singing live. The music in every single scene was on point and needful. It added to the emotionality of the film. And guys, to be honest, I really love the music so much that after the film, or after watching the film, I was actually looking for the music. So I reached out to the producer and asked when we can be able to find the music, because I was not finding it anywhere. And luckily, she disclosed to me that they are working on putting the music out there. So for all of you who have been looking for the music for this beautiful film, we're soon going to be able to access it, and I honestly cannot wait. I would encourage you to watch the movie if you're a music lover, because you would love it. Now, in terms of symbolism, I believe that there were so many elements and so many things that were sprinkled in the film. In the beginning of the film, it was pretty obvious the tension between Chama being Joseph's mother and Kennedy being Joseph's father. But Kennedy's mother did not like Chama, and then Kennedy's sister said something, and Chama said that, oh, you have a beautiful voice, save your voice for singing, don't waste your voice on me. And that little detail is really important. It just goes to show that singing is actually hereditary. So could that be where Joseph got his beautiful voice from? Could he have gotten it from his aunt, that is his father's sister? Who knows? But I really like that particular detail of saying that his aunt could sing and she was going to be mounting stages one day and performing before an audience. And I just love that particular piece, that little gem that was dropped in the beginning of the film. I also like the character Madman, and I like the fact that nobody really liked him. People had a particular way of viewing him, and it had nothing to do with his outlook. But in terms of the way people were treating Joseph, it had everything to do with his outlook without getting to know who he was. Madman scared people. People were scared by the stories they had heard about him, not by getting to know him. With Joseph, it was more about his outlook, his just because he was born with albinism, and that's what people feared about him without getting to know him. I really like the relationship between Madman and Joseph. But if you're wondering what I'm talking about, don't be confused. Go ahead and watch the film and you will understand it better. Now, I believe everybody needs a Martin in their life, period. I honestly cannot understand the kind of heart he had in order to take in Chama and take care of Joseph and, actually teach him all he knew. And those powerful words that he shared with Joseph that stayed with him for the rest of his life and helped him through every single time that he was going through a dilemma, every time he was going through confusion based on the way people were treating him. I just totally loved it. It was pretty sad how things turned out, but yeah, I guess that's just how life is, and it's based on a true life story, so would have to take it for what it was. One thing I wasn't too settled about on the film was the fact that when Joseph became an adolescent and he moved to high school, there wasn't any prejudice, there wasn't any maltreatment being given or meted out to him by his colleagues. And it's not that I wanted him to continue to receive such treatment. It's not that I hoped that that's what I would see. But then it's kind of felt like a detachment from everything, because for me, it was more like this is the kind of treatment he's been getting, and that is exactly how people would see him until the end. Even when he broke through and he was becoming successful, I did not see any reactions from the audience, or we didn't see any reactions. And for me, that felt a bit far removed from the initial part of the story, because the initial part of the story was more like it was very emotional because of the way people were treating him. Even though I loved the film in entirety, I just felt like that part was a bit detached from the whole story, because for me, it was just like, okay, suddenly everybody's mind has just changed about him, or has everybody just accepted him? But then it also just goes to show the kind of people that we are, that the moment someone gets a breakthrough, it doesn't matter what they look like anymore. People actually accept you and now realize that you're more than your skin color. So I guess that's what it was, and that's what it was actually portraying. But then again, also, when I was reading about John Chiti and his life, he went to a special high school. So maybe everybody around him was receptive because they were all adolescents with special needs. But then that's just my perception, and that's just what I think. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to leave it here and I'm going to go straight into my interview with Michael. Michael Mulusa is a filmmaker based in Zambia, and he gave me his 2 cents on the movie and what has been happening in Zambia. Take a look. Hi guys, so just like I said, on today's special video, we're going to be sampling the thoughts of Zambians and generally everyone around the world on this film, Can You See Us? That is making waves and just, touching lives all over the world. And just like I said, I have here with me on this call, Michael Mulusa. He is a filmmaker, he's a public speaker, and he's also an author all the way in Zambia. And he also happened to be on set while the film was being shot in Zambia. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to allow him to do all the talking. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you very much, Alice, for having me, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, it's really a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to Victor Lashunjulo for making this possible, for having you on this show. So tell us, basically, let's get into it. Can You See Us? The film is really making waves all over the world. It was #1 in Nigeria, and then it moved to #4 film in South Africa. It's just basically making waves all over the world. But what is the reaction in Zambia at the moment?
So I think the reaction is basically the same reaction you would get for winning like a World Cup. So it's actually an incredible reaction right now, especially for the film industry. And I should make mention that on the premiere of the movie, actually, I think it's the first movie in the whole world that the sitting president was actually the guest of honor, actually attended the premiere of the movie. So it's really big, and right now it being the first movie being on Netflix, I think it's really good. It's made us proud. It's putting our name out on the map. Before, when you spoke about Africa, you would speak about South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Egypt. Now Zambia is slowly becoming recognized, and for such movies like this, so it's great.
Awesome. And you were also on set while the film was being shot. So tell us a little bit about your experience, and then also you have worked with some individuals living with albinism. So tell us what has also been the reaction of people living with albinism in Zambia. But first, tell us how it was on set.
Okay. So it was really a great experience on set. First of all, it's really amazing working with the producer Yasmin Dodia Mumba and Kenny Mumba as well. They're amazing people. It's not the first time I've worked with them. I think the first commercial I did with them for a telecommunication company, I worked with them. So it was good working with them on this film as well. Great professional. We were well treated as usual. I think they're one of the best media houses. Story is also, it's quite a big story, and a lot of things were cut out. So I think my scene didn't make the final cut, but I was just being part of it is a huge experience, and also helping with other things as well. So yeah, it was a great experience. Now, working with people living with albinism, I think this is a true reflection of us understanding some of the struggles they go with, because sometimes it's really hard for us to understand. And this movie is basically a best awareness message that could go out there. I remember we did a similar movie like this in Nairobi, Kenya in 2022. And it's the same message, and it's the same problem everywhere in Africa. People think that you can treat people like this, but this movie actually sheds light on the struggles that people living with albinism go through. So I think this is good, and it also helps us become united as people, because we actually are one people, irrespective of our skin tone, irrespective of the battles that we're facing. We all battling or living with something. You understand? Yes.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most amazing parts or aspects of this film, that every single person, whether they live with albinism, whatever issues they faced, can relate to the film. And it's such a beautiful film. And I'll urge you, if you've not watched it and you're watching this video, go on Netflix right now and watch Can You See Us? It's such a beautiful film. But before we end this conversation, I would like to know what it means for you as a filmmaker in Zambia right now, and moving forward. I mean, there'll definitely be an opportunity where I'll get to have you fully on the show, and then we'll just, get into you as a filmmaker, individually as a filmmaker, but then generally, what does that mean for you? And I mean, when we began the conversation, you were talking about how exciting and how thrilling it is that the first ever feature film from Zambia is on Netflix and is putting Zambia on the map. But what does it mean for you as a filmmaker in Zambia now?
First of all, thanks a lot for that. It means a lot, being from Africa and growing up with African parents. I think it's not the easiest thing to convince your parents to say, oh, I want to be a filmmaker, because they'll tell you things like, oh, how are you going to survive? Where are you going to eat? There's no money in film. But when other people's dreams become a reality, when things that seemed so far-fetched actually come near you, it actually gives hope. So to me personally, it has given me hope that I should keep going, I should keep working hard, and this is just the beginning. If this has happened, I think as a film industry we can accomplish much more than this. So it's exciting. Sometimes as a filmmaker it gets difficult at times, and you feel like giving up. You're like, okay, let me go get a job. But when you see such things like, wow, you pull out your computer and you start writing that script, you start shooting that short film, you start networking, because it's like it's getting closer to your dream come true. So it's ignited us as well, and also it's given our work visibility. So people are actually looking at us. I mean, people that watched Can You See Us? And they probably looked at the title credits. And I'm sure amongst the people that worked on that film, people will start getting opportunities and getting contacted. And there's a saying that if God is blessing your neighbor, then he's probably in the neighborhood. So
Neighborhood.
yeah, that's yeah. So that's how it feels with me. And on your previous question, I forgot to mention that actually people living with albinism
Okay.
actually endorsed the film and actually put out a message and said we've endorsed the film and we embraced the film, and they wished the cast, the crew member, they well wishes, wished them congratulations as well on the film, and they accepted the film and said this is beautiful, and encouraged other people living with albinism as well to come out and express themselves with their talents. And there are many ways for us to impact the world, and it's not just the usual way. Africa, they've been telling us that go to school, get a job. Your skills as well, your giftings and your callings. So yeah, it's amazing, man. I personally I feel like it's my movie that I that went to Netflix. So that's how I'm taking it, and personally I'm encouraged, and it's given me more motivation for the next day.
I can only imagine how exciting it is for you, because even for me, all the way in Ghana, I personally do not have any links in Zambia, but this is for Africa. This is a win for Africa. And we're truly, truly grateful for having you on. And even though this was very brief, I'm promising that whoever's watching this, we're going to definitely have Michael on the call some other time. And he's going to tell us at length his work and his contribution in the industry, and also as an author, speaker, and just generally someone who's pushing for African content to get there and be on the map. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining us on today's show. And yeah, I can't wait to have you again. And do take care.
Thanks a lot, Alice. Looking forward to our next interview.
Absolutely. All right, then. Bye.
Okay.
Amazing stuff there, right? Like, I actually wish I was in Zambia right now to experience with them and just, sharing the joy. But then this is definitely a win for Zambia and a win for Africa as a whole. And I really hope and pray that this is just the beginning of amazing things that Zambia is going to bring for us all to enjoy, and all African countries, bringing out content that is going to put Africa on the map. Before I end this video, initially, when the film came out, it was called Mwabi. Now, Mwabi is the term used to describe people living with albinism in Zambia, in their local language, Nyanga. Now, that particular title did not sit too well, especially with people living with albinism in Zambia. And so just a day before the film premiered in Zambia, that was in October 2022, they changed the name to Can They See Us? And then eventually it is now Can You See Us? So in case you come across some publication with Can They See Us or Mwabi, is this the film that we're talking about? So guys, there you have it. Can You See Us? A beautiful, beautiful piece of art all the way from Zambia, and we're really proud of the film, of the cast, the crew, and everybody who contributed to making this film what it is right now. We also want to say a big thank you to Mr. John Chiti for holding on and not giving up in life, and actually becoming such an inspiration, such that the film is made out of your life. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Do share with me in the comment section what your thoughts are on the movie, and if you've not watched it yet, I want to encourage you to go and watch the movie. Come back here and share with us your thoughts, and let's get interactive. If anyone needs some convincing, share this video with a friend or two so that they can also watch the beautiful piece of art that is Can You See Us? I will see you in my next video, guys. Take care. It's always your girl AJ, for salt, for sugar, for spice, and everything nice. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.